I'm really excited about this week. It is just such a great week. And I'll tell you why. Because Sunday, this coming Sunday, June 20th, wedding anniversary, 34 years. Pretty cool. Father's Day, same day. That's going to be awesome. I'm sure my kids are going to do something really great for me. Yeah, that'll be good. And then it's the first day of summer coming up on Sunday too. They tell me on the calendar. So this is a fantastic time of year. Golf season is in full bloom. I'm excited about that. And I've been thinking this week about how cool it would be if you really did get mulligans in life, a do-over. Like you play golf, if you know anything about golf, it's fun if you hit a bad shot to say, I'm going to take a mulligan, I'm going to get a do-over. Sometimes in life we wish we could get a mulligan. We wish we could get a do-over. And here we are midway through the year almost, just a couple more weeks. And we are talking today again for a second week in a row about resetting our life, our leadership. And so we're going to talk about that today. It's going to be fantastic. Welcome to Chasing Greatness. This podcast is designed for you to help you maximize your life, to help you be great. And you know, greatness is not about necessarily you just being great. It really is about helping the people around us, the communities, the families, the workplaces, the companies, businesses, teams, all the things we're involved in. It's helping those places become great as well, to reach their potential. So we're gonna have a great episode today. I'm fired up to be with you, and I've been thinking a lot about this back half of the year. How do we make these halftime adjustments as we go in? Now, last week I talked about the computer. I had my computer with me last week, and I talked about how sometimes it gets these glitches in it. And I got a buddy who told me years ago, he said, anytime you get a problem, you just hit reset, you hit restart. If you'll start it over, it'll reboot the system, and you're off and running. And that's so often the case. It happens on your phone too. If you have an iPhone, you push the little button, slide the thing across, let's start over. And all of a sudden the operating system just reboots and it gets better. And so today, I want us to think about that in our life, in our leadership. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for helping us spread the word. Today, you'll hear some things, and you'll think of some people, not just yourself. You'll think of some other people who could benefit. Please help us share that. Leave a comment. If you have any questions, let us know. We're happy to talk with you about these things. But let's think about resetting our life and our leadership. Halfway through the year, it's almost halftime, just a couple more weeks. What would we do differently going into the back half of the year? And are we where we want to be? Now, last week I gave you those questions. Remember those? What's working? What's not working? What's missing in my life right now? Where do I need to prune some things back? Maybe they're cluttering up my life. Also, we identified our number one priority for the rest of the year last week. And then we talked about what is our number one goal as we go into the next 6 months. And so as you think about that, I hope you will continue to wrestle with those questions. Today, I have some more questions for you, but honestly, I've created a little grid to help me think about how to reset my life and leadership. One of the things we teach in our training when we do training with companies and organizations and teams, and one of the things we talk about is this idea of reinventing continuously. It's actually a fundamental skill of leadership to be able to reinvent. We live in a state of constant change, and as you begin to think about your life, it is just in this constant flux. I mean, things are just continuing to move, and you have to adapt, you have to improve, you have to keep working on it. If you're not careful, you will default to, we've always done it this way, I like this idea, I don't really want to change. And if you are change averse, if you really don't like change, you resist change, you're going to have a hard time staying relevant. And so I heard somebody say one time, if you don't like change, you're going to like being irrelevant even less. And that's so true. So as we think about this back half of the year, what is it that we need to do to reset? Maybe not even change. Maybe there's some things we need to do where we're actually doing okay. They're working like we talked about last week, but we just need to run up the score in that area. Maybe we're pulling back a little bit because we've been successful. I don't know what your situation is, but I know as you're listening today, there's some places in your life where you need to reset, and this is a perfect time of year to do that as we head into summer. So let me give you some questions today. I've created a little 4-box to help me think about my life, and hopefully this will be helpful to you. We'll put it on the screen here. You can see that if you're watching on YouTube. Let's lock in here, though, and see if we can learn some stuff today. So the first question that I have come back to these last few weeks is, what do I want? Like, what do I really want? And I'm asking you right now, what do you want? As you think about the second half of the year, What do you want? What is your, we'll call this the vision question. What is your vision for the back end of this year, the second half of the year? What do you really want? If you don't know what you want, you're going to have a hard time finding that. As we said before, hope is not a strategy. I want things to get better. I mean, want is not really enough. It's like, but it's a good starting place. It is like, what do you really desire? What do you want to see happen? Or as my friend Mark Miller asks all the time, he says, what are you trying to accomplish? I think getting locked in, having a target on what it is you want will really be, it'll open up the possibilities for the rest of the year. Have you forgotten what you want? When you started the year, maybe you didn't even identify at the beginning of the year what you want. If you didn't, you probably have not had the best first half of the year. That's okay. You actually do get a mulligan here in the second half. Now, you can't undo all the things that have happened or didn't happen. There's things that didn't happen that you may even have regrets about. I heard somebody say one time that when it's all said and done, our lives are over, we'll probably have more regret about the things we didn't do than the things we did wrong. There's a lot of truth to that. I mean, I'm sure we'll have some regret of the things we did wrong, but some of us, we're going to have regret for things that we didn't do, things that were left undone. And so as you think about the back half of the year, don't let your barrier to high performance be, I didn't decide what I wanted when it all started. So let's start with vision. Like, what do you want? And I would really just remind you there's power in writing that down. So I got my notebook out. I'm writing stuff out. What do I really want? That's a good place to start. Okay, here's a second question. We got the vision idea. Here's a second one. Do you want something? This is not the question. I'm gonna preface the question with a question. Do you want something that is bigger than what you can do by yourself? So here's the question. Who do you need? Who do you need? Who is it that you need to help you accomplish what it is you want? Please tell me you have something bigger than you're able to do on your own that you want. You really do want something. You're a leader. I mean, so you have to have something in mind that you're like, I'm not going to be able to do this without some people to help me. I got all kind of areas in my life where I'm able to do things that wouldn't happen if I didn't have the people around me that are helping make those happen. My team of people that's helping me from a technology standpoint and helping me with content. And I mean, it's like literally everything that I've got going on, I got people helping me with coaching and training and all those things. You hopefully have an area in your life where you say, I want this, but I need someone to help me do this. Now, as we think about this, who do we need question, let me ask it another way. So if you could hire one person, if you could invite one person onto your team, who would that person be? As you begin to think about a specific person, you may say, well, that person already has a job, or that person already has a position, that person already has a passion. That's great, but chances are, if your vision is big enough and you invite them into your journey, they might say yes. And so I would just encourage you, don't lose sight of the fact that there are people who would love to help you. And so if you have something really big you're trying to do, it really is a capacity question. If what do I want is a vision question, who do I need is actually a capacity question. My capacity actually grows every time I invite someone onto my team. It gives me more firepower, more ability, more skills, things that I can't do, they can do. And so as you begin to think about increasing your capacity, I think it's the people around your life that might be missing. That might be, go back to last week, that might be one of the things that's missing. It is somebody to help you get over the hump. And so who do you need? It's this capacity question. I challenge you to answer that, to find that person, to invite them on your team. And let's get to the end of the year and let's have a different structure around our life, a different support system around our lives to help us get where we want to. So first question, what do I want? Second question, who do I need? And that sort of leads us to the third question. And this is a question of what I'll call direction. And the third question is this, where do you want to be? When the year is over, where do you really want to be? Where are you trying to go? Where are you going? If you want to think of it that, however you want to say it, like where do you really want to be 6 months from now when this year's over? If you don't give some thought to that, chances are you're just going to kind of flounder around, wander around, and you'll get to the end of the year and you might not be where you want to be. And so if you don't know where you want to be, that's the place to start. Let's start by identifying where is that place that I want to go? What do I want it to look like when it's, when the year's over? And now I can have direction toward that. You've heard this before. I've heard many people say this: your direction always determines your destination. And there's so much truth to that. It's if you can identify where that destination is and then take steps toward it, just one little baby mother may I step will actually get you closer. Every time you take a little step, it gets you closer. It gets you closer. And I've actually said this on the podcast before. I've always reminded my kids when they were growing up, the longer you stay on the wrong road, the further you get from where you want to be. And so for some of us, we're on the wrong road right now. What the road we're on is not going to take us to where we want to be. You got to start with identifying that place, and you got to start taking steps toward that. So massive amounts of action are important, but if they're in the wrong direction, it's just going to get you further from where you want to be. Let's take action. That's fantastic, but let's make sure it's headed toward our destination, and that's a good one. So what do I want? That's vision. Who do I need? That's capacity. That'll help that grow. Where am I going? That's my direction, and then ultimately, how am I going to get there? Like, what is my plan? As you think about it today, your fourth question, what is your plan? How are you going to get from where you are to where you want to be? This is a strategy idea. It's important for us to have a strategy as to how we're going to try to attack the back half of this year. And if you have been, just sort of playing whack-a-mole the first 6 months, you're just putting out fires all the time, you're constantly buried in emails and details and all those kind of things, you really don't have a strategy that's driving your performance, I'm telling you right now, you're behind in the game. You're not reaching your potential. You are not chasing greatness if you don't have a strategy. And so what is your plan? What is your plan to get from where you are to where you want to go? If you can lock in on that strategy and then take that action we just talked about and just give a little bit of action every day, toward that destination, all of a sudden you can make huge progress as we go through the rest of this year. So how are you going to get there? Do you have a strategy for high performance? I repeat myself sometimes. I'm saying this again. You believe and behave your way to high performance. When it comes to your strategy, you got to have a belief, but you got to behave your way there. You got to act your way there. You've got to have the right habits, the right routines, the right schedule, those kind of things. Are you using your time correctly? And that should line up with the strategy that you have. Go back to what we talked about with capacity. Who do you need? You got to make sure they're in on the strategy. They know what that is. You've been real clear with that. If you'll do that, your life can really look drastically different 6 months from now than it does today. So as you think about resetting here, if we could get a do-over, honestly, we can't. But if we did get a mulligan, or if we could even reset, let's just think about it that way. If we could just reset, Control, Alt, Delete. First half, pretty good. But if we could just kind of reboot here going into the second half and get ready to go into attack mode, what would we need? I think these 4 questions of vision, of capacity, of direction, and strategy could be very helpful. What do you want? Who do you need? Where are you going? And how are you going to get there? These questions can honestly become the catalyst you need to push you into the second half of the year. Now, if you need more help, I will say this. I'll do a little, we never really sell anything here or do any advertising here, but I will say this. If you go all the way back to the beginning of the year, we created a course, 21 Days to Your Best Year Ever. And a bunch of you went through that course. And you have a framework that we established for clarity and capacity and ultimately this ability to leave a legacy. How cool would that be if your life would lead to a legacy with the people that you're having influence over? And we've had so many great stories that have come out of that course. But some of you still have not, you've not taken the course. You've not gone through it. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back and we're going to relaunch this course. It's available at randygravett.com. We're gonna make this thing $99. We're gonna go high price here for the next few weeks and give you a chance to go back and get our course, 21 Days to Your Best Year Ever. Now I'm gonna give you permission to sort of rebrand it. It's the same stuff, but I'm not gonna do this for you. I'm gonna give you permission to rethink this. This is 21 days to reset your life and leadership. This is what this is. It's 21 days to reset. You're going to get a 5-6 minute video every day. I mean, you'll get them all at one time. You'll get that. Well, there's like a 50-page PDF workbook in there, things that you can go through. It's just a really cool resource that's going to help you make progress as you do this. And you're literally 3 weeks from now, you're going to have a framework built into your life just by spending 5-10 minutes a day working on this. And ultimately, you're going to be on a different trajectory when we get mid-July than you are today if you'll sign up for this course and get this. I'm telling you, it's money well spent. Again, we don't really ask you for a lot here. We've created this course. It's helping leaders everywhere. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a strategy, this is a gift to you. This is it. I mean, I'm telling you, this is going to help you. So 21 days to your best year ever. If you've not done that, I encourage you to do that. And then for those of you who did go through it at the beginning of the year, this might be a really good time for you to review, to go back and watch those videos again and reset and just take one of those a day for the next 3 weeks and work on your leadership as well. Reboot, go to the next level on this thing. And let's think about how to reset our lives as we go into the second half of this year. So that's it. We're resetting our lives. We're working on that. We're going into summer. I got anniversaries. I got Father's Day. I got all kind of fun stuff that I'm going to get to celebrate this weekend. It's going to be a fun rest of the week. I hope you have a real heart here to push into the second half of this year with excellence, to live a remarkable life. You've got what it takes. There really is greatness in you. Go chase it. Go chase it. Go maximize your potential and help the people around you be great as well. I love what Jesus said when he defined greatness. He says the greatest among you is the one who's the servant. And we believe that servant leadership really is the best leadership. So as you think about growing you got to start with you. It's the hardest person you'll lead. But as you think about that, I want to challenge you to make sure that you are focused on the people around you. Help them grow as well. Help them be great. And as you do, man, your life is going to be so much more fulfilled. Everything around you is going to be great as well. So let's keep chasing greatness. Share this with somebody. Push it out there. If you know somebody needs to go through the course that hasn't done that, please push that out to them. Let them know about that. Again, at randygravett.com, you can get that. All our resources are there. There's links to that stuff. And even if you know somebody, by the way, I'll say this. If you know somebody who can't afford to go through and they need help, you let me know. We'll do everything we can to take care of people. But thank you for helping us spread the word. Thank you for all you're doing. You're making a difference. Again, there's greatness in you. Go live it out this week.